Welcome back to Movie Fab. A few weeks ago, I posted how to construct a raised goat house. And also, a few weeks ago, we also posted a video of the structure, like the entire structure for the flat goat structure. And then I told you what to look out for, what you need when you're building a flat simple structure. If you've not seen that video, please check it. I've not made a lot of videos, but check it out. And then I thought it will be wise for me to show you how I constructed it. So this is how the structure was constructed. This is a flat structure to be housing 50 goats at Movie Farm. So let's not confuse. We have two structures. One is flat, the other one is raised. So this is how to construct a flat structure just on the ground, but a structure that is very secure, a structure that is well ventilated, a structure that is well aerated. That means, and also a structure that is very clean. It is landing so that any goat pee and goat um, uh, manure and all that can flow easily. So it's very flat, and it looks kind of like a modern, because sometimes you don't find these structures in anywhere. So at least we've put a little bit of technology, a little bit of modern, made it modern a little bit. And because we had a very bad flat structure. So this is just where the goats were, but now we want to ensure that we have taken care of the ventilation. We have also taken care of how the feces will the goat pee will flow, and to make sure that our goats are free from diseases and also free from wetness, because you know that all that is not good for goats. So we started with digging the foundation, and here we are just using our local materials. If you look at these are stones that we find locally. We've bought locally from our location at Mbovi Farm. So we started with the foundation, and we needed the foundation to be very flat. We also needed the foundation to be tight, security wise, because you don't want your goats and then you have like snakes, other predators, or other or things like hyenas coming in to feed on your goat. One of the things that I've learned when I'm constructing these things, because of course I'm not doing it myself, so I have to engage casuals or pay someone to do it, is you need to be present. You need to be there for you to at least show them what your vision is, and also guide them where they think they are not doing it the right way. So on this project, I was I was in there on a daily basis. I would go check what are they doing today and all that. I would guide them where, like, if it's not slanting enough, I would tell them this is not flat enough, or this and this should be done here. And I felt that that's like a good thing to do. What I did with the raised farm, the raised goat house, I left at some point halfway the project. I left, and therefore I found that the person I'd given the work to finish up the construction, they went ahead and constructed a very small run, because my vision was for the goats to like have a very big area where they can just sit under a tree and even get their feet from there, get watering. And therefore I was dreaming, or my vision was having like a bigger area enclosed as the run. And I went back and I found a very tiny run where it didn't even have trees on the run. So I I said that I will never ever be absent in one of my projects. And therefore today, this is just me trying to record this to show you how it's done. Some of the places I know they're not clear enough, but this is because we are constructing this house under a tree. So the best part of it is when you're doing all this, or all this is just check about the location. Make sure that your whatever you're building the structure is either well leveled and also has its own natural shade, because you don't need to invest in a lot of roofing where else you can use part of a tree as part of your of your roofing. And this I'll show you even how we've done our cow shed. Our cow shed is under a tree, so sometimes it's good to just figure it out, ensure that your all your structures are uh, they're well arranged, the ecosystem is good, everything is balancing each other, because you don't need to spend a lot of money maybe on the roofing, where else you have a tree that can act as a shade and all that. So I realized that the leveling was not good enough, and we had to correct that at some point. I know you had mentioned in my other construction, you had asked how much it is, how much square space is required for a 50 goat structure. And on this video, I'm just going to give you like the length and the width of it, so that at least I can answer you some of those questions that you had. uh, so one goat requires 25 to 50 square feet. That is per goat. And therefore, for 50 goats, you need about 1,250 to 2,550 square feet. And I'm going to put this in the as a post on YouTube for those that are interested. And therefore, for the indoor shelter, you have like a length of 30 feet and a width of 25 feet. So that's like the structure itself. And then you can even add now the outdoor area, or what we are calling the run, that is 50 by 25. So I think that clears. And when I started this video, I told you that we are just going to use materials that are locally sourced. And this is one of the good things that has happened to us in Ukambani, because we are near the Chulu Hills. So the Chulu Hills did this volcanic activity many millions years ago, and we have these stones which sometimes they're kind of almost like free, so you only pay for the transport, and therefore that's why the structure costed me not so much. And this is just the material that it's very strong, and plus when you put it with cement, it's even strong than bricks or the machine cut. It's very strong. And what you need to do when you're using this material is to make sure that they arrange it properly, because some of them will not like arrange it well, and when it rains or they have not put enough cement concrete in between, when it rains, then the structure will just fall down. So you have to be there to ensure that they are doing it the right way. Of course, they are professionals, but with small supervision, it can go a long way, instead of just having them not do it the correct way. And also, we had like a string just to ensure that the stones are being placed with the same um at the same place, like going up, so that you don't have like you have like a straight wall, and not a wall that is slanting or wherever. And for most of this video, I'm just going to leave you with some music, because uh, there's nothing much to explain other than them just coming on a daily basis, us lifting the structure, ensuring that the curing process is done right, putting it water, giving it time to dry, so that at least we are in the right place and the structure is very strong. And that main post that you can see there, that's the main post that was there even when we had um no walls on the structure. And after the walls, we are going to put up the wire mesh, because I had shown you that, and then we are going to do the roofing part of it. And in between the walls, we are going to put at least like a strong either timber or the roads, the trees, so that it can hold the stones together. And here we are using the cement. Some people can use soil to join the stones, but we preferred to use cement, because cement is long lasting. And inside the cement, we put the small stones, we call it kokoto, or just the small maram road stones, the black ones. so that they can hold the cement together and also make it a little bit of flat. If you have any questions to do with ghost structures, I think I've had some experience in constructing that. You can just come to the inbox and just ask me a few questions that you have, and I've seen some just asking about how much how many the roofing part of it, like how many someone needs for the house. And I'm going to put a post with the calculations of how what we need, what we bought, and how much it cost us. So I'm going to put that in the post. And thank you so much for joining Movie Farm. And if this is your first time, please subscribe to our channel because it helps us to grow. And also, I'm urging you guys, if you have any extra funding, you can pay up for our membership like community, because now that membership will enable me to construct more like housing, or even buy my feeds, or even buy new stock for animals and all that. So it will go a long way. And thank you so much for joining us and being here. So I'm just going to leave you with a little bit of some music just for you to watch how it's done. And later on, I'm going to come back and just explain when they start on the roofing. Enjoy the music. So after finishing, sorry, after finishing our wall, now we are doing the floor part of it, and we're just ensuring that the floor is firm. It's rough because these are boats. It's not like human beings, so it has to be like a rough one. And this is the floor that I showed you that we put sawdust onto it. So on a weekly or bi-weekly basis, we put sawdust and then we remove that sawdust that they have used for the 2 weeks, and then we take it to the farm to cool off, because you can't apply it on your soil when it's hot. So we remove it on a bi-weekly basis, and it's taken to the farm. So after the wall, we went ahead and now started our roofing. And here we are also using our local materials because, of course, it's local. We need to use what we have. So we are putting the trees in there. We are doing the support for our roof because our roof will be like a mabati. We have our old mabatis that we had when we demolished the old one. Actually, this is just the place that had the old one. We are just upgrading it and making it more comfortable for our boots. And here we are just like, this is a tree that I told you that we are using. So the tree is huge. It's been there for very many years, and it holds the house together, and it also gives us that extra cooling because remember we are in Ukambani, so there's a lot going on and there's a lot of heat, direct sun, and therefore it will be useful very well for our goats when we have that extra cushion or extra tree, even though we are doing the roofing. So we went ahead and just used our old trees and roads to support the roofing. And yes, that's what the guys are doing today. And here we are, we finished the construction. It looks good. The wall is okay, so what we are remaining is just putting the mesh between the wall and the roofing. That is what is remaining, but that's how the house looks like. And I'm happy that the goats are going to have a very perfect place to sleep. And here are the goats just grazing today. You're going to see them grazing, and this is one of the areas that we graze for the goats. And I'm going to leave you with this. Just this is just a lazy day. It's very sunny, and we are just grazing our goats as we construct the house. Thank you. If this is your kind of video, please join us on Movie Farm. We love you. I appreciate each and every one of you who have been here with me. And if you've gotten up to this point on this video, give me a shout out on the comment section, and also just let me know if you have, or if you need me to record anything, or if you have any questions or any video that you'd like me to create. So thank you so much for your patience, and see you in another video. Bye bye.